I have this pet peeve in real estate, and it's these realtors that brag about being born and raised in the city that they serve. And I have nothing against them. Many of them are my friends. Many of them I know are great realtors. But I don't think being born and raised in a city is really the brag that they think it is. They think they're saying that they know everything about the city and they can transfer that knowledge to you. However, they're missing one thing. You're not from the city. Your existence in that city isn't going to be the same as theirs. And frankly, what they think about the city, in particular neighborhoods, isn't really relevant because it's based on what they knew 10, 20 years ago. And that all matters because of places like this. Because this is one of Cincinnati's most misunderstood neighborhoods. And really a lot of the misunderstanding is there's a preconceived notion of what this place is, and it just isn't relevant anymore. Madisonville has changed a lot, and I would say mostly for the better. But some people still have old ideas of what Madisonville was. And I'm not gonna say that it was all bad and now it's all good. Because what I love about Madisonville most is it has retained this community culture that can only be developed after years of dedication and pride to your neighborhood, even decades. Because a lot of the people that live here have lived here for a long time. People are nostalgic about Madisonville. It was a working class neighborhood, very blue collar, that had a lot of pride in their neighborhood and the homes that you can find here. It harkens back to an era in which a working class blue collar family could afford a very nice and very large home. And the ones that couldn't quite afford that still had a great place to live. That's still the type of home that you're gonna find in Madisonville. And that community pride and dedication is something that you can still find in the people who live here now. Because in my experience, the people who are moving to Madisonville are proud of it. They're moving there for the right reasons. They don't want to totally change it. They don't want to forget the past, and they don't want to give up on the future. We get the best of both worlds in Madisonville. So if you are someone who is looking for their next home in Cincinnati, you're at the right place. Because Madisonville is going to be one of those neighborhoods that you should probably consider for a lot of good reasons. And that goes for someone who is moving here from afar or someone who already lives in Cincinnati. There's probably things here that you don't know about yet. And that's where I come in. This channel is all about all of the great things happening in Cincinnati, be it in the city itself or the overall region. And if you are someone who already lives in Cincinnati and wants to keep up with what's happening, or maybe you don't live in Cincinnati, but you're considering a move here, you should follow this account. Click subscribe, click the bell. Make sure that you're receiving notifications when we post new videos like this. And of course, if you have specific questions, all of my contact information is in the video description, so you can reach me in whatever ways most convenient for you. But let's get to Madisonville. This is gonna be a good one. Stick around to the end and we'll really cover the vibe of this area so that you can understand if it's going to be the right fit for you and your lifestyle. Madisonville is one of Cincinnati's oldest neighborhoods. It is a socioeconomically diverse neighborhood with a lot of blue-collar background, but definitely more high-end places as well. There is a strong push for community-driven revitalization. With its walkable streets and thriving business district, you really get the community feel here. The neighborhood is diverse, engaged, and proud. You've got a diverse mix of homes here as well, from the early 1900s to the mid 1900s to more recent modern builds. Just in the last 5 to 10 years, you can find more new construction in this neighborhood than you can most other neighborhoods in Cincinnati proper. Outside of the home, you can find some really exciting businesses, great parks, and you have quick access to Cincinnati as well as other areas like Marymount. It's also really close to some of our most popular neighborhoods. Names you probably know like Oakley and Hyde Park are right next to Madisonville. Well, a great cheaper option than those more expensive neighborhoods, Madisonville has its own identity and it is worth checking out for its own reasons, not just because you like another neighborhood that might be a little bit more expensive. Madisonville might not be for everyone though. I like it there. I know a lot of other people who love Madisonville. However, if you're not looking to be in a neighborhood that is transitioning, this might not be the right place for you. There are streets in Madisonville where you can find some great remodels and great new construction homes that are just a few doors down from places that need completely revitalized. An interesting dynamic here is anecdotally, there's more empty lots in Madisonville than most of the other neighborhoods on the east side. That factor is one thing contributing to the fact that we do have more new construction options here. From an infrastructure standpoint in Madisonville, there are some things that could be a little bit better. I'd consider Madisonville a walkable neighborhood. However, walking down some of the streets, you're gonna notice that the sidewalks could use some work. Frankly, if you're driving, some of the roads could use some work as well. Of course, there are school options in Madisonville and nearby, but you're gonna wanna do a little bit of homework on this. The schools in the area can really vary based on what you might be looking for your child's education. I think Madisonville can really be defined by some of its businesses more than other neighborhoods. To start that off, I'm just gonna point out, you might be watching this video considering a move to Cincinnati because of a job opportunity at a place called Medpace. Medpace is locally headquartered right in Madisonville, and it is a major company in pharmaceuticals and therapeutics. Needless to say, a business like that attracts a lot of people from a lot of different areas. So if you're one of those people that's considering a job with Medpace, this is going to be a really close commute for you. But it's not just Medpace that I would say helps define the culture of Madisonville. There's some great local businesses, especially in the restaurant and bar category. To name a few, Mom and M Coffee is a great option for exactly what the name would suggest. It is a coffee and espresso shop. However, they've got an amazing wine list. They've got a great lunch menu, and it's really kind of an upscale place compared to what you would expect at most coffee shops. While upscale, it's still approachable for everyone, so don't let that scare you away. It's a great option for a casual coffee or to sit down and have a really nice meal in a low-key environment. Mazunte is a Mexican restaurant that is somehow still underrated. It is pretty well known, and everyone who knows it loves it, in my experience. I have not met anyone who would say a negative thing about Mazunte. However, I still run across too many people who don't know about it or do know about it and haven't tried it. That's a total mistake. If you like Mexican food and you are in the Cincinnati area, it is definitely on the list of places you have to try. Another restaurant that is at the top of its category, in my opinion, is Bee's Barbecue. This is your quintessential hole-in-the-wall type of place. This is Bee's original location. Don't expect to dine in here. They have enough room for a counter and for you to be able to walk in. Frankly, there's not even enough room for a line. In my experience, I would get there on the earlier side because they can run out of some options. It is a very popular option, but it's one that you definitely want to try. So get to Bee's Barbecue. It is unmatched in what they do. And I'm gonna wrap this category up with back to Medpace because they've got an amazing food hall called Element Eatery. They've got a ton of different options there, full service bar, a lot of area to spread out. I really am liking Element even more now that I have kids because it is a great area to get different options for the whole family, as well as having some room to spread out. Anyone with kids, especially toddlers, knows exactly what I'm referring to here. It's really hard to sit down at a restaurant with those kids. Element Eatery is kind of giving a balance of, you've got that sit down feel, but when the kids get antsy, you still have some room. In the same area, but let's reserve this one for date night when you have the babysitter, or for those people who don't have kids at all, you can go anytime you want. I miss those days. But Alara is a great Mediterranean restaurant. They've got great food, great wine, great cocktails. It is a can't miss place. This is interesting because I feel like a lot of our fine dining is really concentrated downtown and in over the Rhine. However, you've got a great option here right in Madisonville, easily accessible. You don't have to go all the way out to suburbs, and you don't have to go all the way downtown. You can stay in Madisonville and have a great meal. And as you already know, this channel is only possible because of my work as a real estate agent. So all of this information that I give away for free in this channel is stuff that oftentimes it started out researching for clients who are considering different areas. If you've been looking for a home in Madisonville in the current market, you're probably noticing that the starting point for a move-in ready home is about $250,000 to $350,000. You can find a lot of brick Cape Cods and Craftsman, smaller homes, 2 to 3 bedrooms, some 4-bedroom homes that are in that price category. If you can take the budget a little bit higher, there is a category $400,000 to $600,000 in Madisonville, and that's going to open up some very large 100-year-old Victorian type homes, as well as some new construction homes. One real important key, if you're looking for new construction in Madisonville, you need to know about the tax abatement policy in Cincinnati. And actually, not just new construction, the tax abatement policy applies to remodeled homes as well. So if you're looking for homes that are remodeled, that might be an option for you. as well as if you buy a fixer-upper, which you can find in Madisonville under $250,000 that might still qualify for conventional type loans, that would be technically livable. You might just want to update. You can find those homes in Madisonville, fix them up yourself, make sure you get the permits, and get on the tax abatement policy, which is going to save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars every year. Let's compare Madisonville to some of the nearby neighborhoods, which are some of our most popular neighborhoods. So if you lived in Madisonville, you'd have quick access to these neighborhoods. Comparing Madisonville to Oakley, Madisonville is clearly much more affordable. You're gonna get more home for the money in Madisonville. Oakley, you're expecting to pay over $425,000 for the median price home. You probably have a smaller lot in Oakley. Some of the homes in Oakley can be larger than some of the homes that are offered in Madisonville, but you're definitely going to pay accordingly. It's easy to exceed $500,000 when you're buying a home in Oakley, and the $500,000 price point in Madisonville is basically top of the line, up to about $600,000. Speaking of that $500,000 to $600,000 range, in Hyde Park, one of our most popular neighborhoods that's right near Madisonville, the median price home is going to be $500,000 to $700,000. There's not much under that $500,000 in Hyde Park. So Hyde Park is going to be much more expensive than Madisonville. And you're still in kind of the same area. I mean, Hyde Park definitely has more of a Hyde Park square. It's got that kind of small neighborhood feel in that square. And you definitely have some nicer amenities in Hyde Park, but it's still easy access. If you're looking to save a little bit of money, or Hyde Park is just totally out of the budget, Madisonville might be an option that keeps you near the things that you want out of Hyde Park. I think a really close comparison would be Madisonville and Pleasant Ridge. These are similar neighborhoods. I think Pleasant Ridge was probably mostly developed a little bit after Madisonville, so the homes aren't quite as old on average. However, in Pleasant Ridge, the average home is probably a little bit smaller than the average home in Madisonville. That's an interesting dynamic because there's parts of Pleasant Ridge where you can find very large homes. They're more like the 1920s Tudors and Tudor Revival type homes, while Madisonville was developed earlier than that, and they're more like the Victorian type homes. Think large porches, wraparound porches, and intricate details. Both Madisonville and Pleasant Ridge are still near the city while being more of a residential community. Madisonville is probably a little bit closer to downtown, but Pleasant Ridge, you have maybe easier access to the highway and get there pretty quick. So it's probably a similar commute no matter which of these areas you're picking. If one of them is on your list, the other one should be on your list unless you're driven more so by someone that you know or your family lives right there in that neighborhood. Obviously, you can't replicate that in the other neighborhood. So what's it like to live here? And why would you consider living here if you're moving here from afar? I think Madisonville is one of these neighborhoods that you find in Cincinnati that gives you an opportunity to be active and involved in a larger part of the community quicker than other areas. An area like Hyde Park that is just well established, and it is going to be very similar moving forward. It is kind of what you expect all the time. Madisonville, on the other hand, is changing quickly. And for some people, it's going to be really appealing to be able to be a part of that change. But for other people that are more interested in having that consistency, Madisonville might not be the place for you. It's going to keep changing. You're not going to stop that. And so you might want to consider a more established neighborhood. This is an active neighborhood. You've got some great parks nearby. It's the type of neighborhood that values community, neighbors. You'll see block parties, people walking dogs around the street, and just chatting with their neighbors. If you're the type of person that wants a neighborhood where you know your neighbors, Madisonville is probably a great option for you. So what do you think? Is Madisonville right for you? I'd love to hear your comments below. If you're already in Cincinnati and you know this area, tell me what I missed. And if you're not familiar with Madisonville and you still have questions, post those here in the comments or just reach out to me directly. All of my contact information is in the video description, so you can reach me however is convenient for you. And there's one way I might be able to help you even more than just posting videos on YouTube, and that is with your home search, or if you're looking to sell a home in the Cincinnati area. No matter if you are in Ohio or Kentucky, I'm licensed in both states and I would love to help you with your next move. So if you are considering a move anytime in the next 12 months, reach out, let's talk, send me an email or get on my calendar. It's all in the description of this video. And we're not stopping at Madisonville. So if there's another neighborhood in the Cincinnati area you want to know more about, post it right here in the comments. We're reading the comments, we're replying to the comments, and we will be doing videos that are suggested right there. So until next time, I will see you around Cincinnati.